Hey guys, Mike with Newfound Past. Just sitting around today. I've already listed a bunch of stuff this morning and waiting on the mailman. So I figured we would go over some questions that were in the comments. Today, it was a weird day yesterday. Only sold one thing. So weird. But yeah, just waiting on the mailman for that. Take a look out the door here. Usually I can hear him, but and he's a good guy. But I'm gonna get to the questions. Hey, Parrot. Hey, Andy. How you doing, bud? Figured I'd do a quick live video the day before Thanksgiving. My beard coming in. It's all gray down here. A few of you guys have asked about my pets, and we have 2 dogs and 4 cats. This one, you've seen this girl before. This is, whoops. This is Miss Sadie. And these girls are sisters from the same litter. And this is Miss Friday. Hi, Miss Friday. They just turned 10 years old. And like I said, from the same litter. They're part of a research project at the University of Missouri Vet School. The mailman should be here anytime, but go around to the cats. This girl is our old girl. This is Miss Fifi. She's the oldest of the lot, of the litter. She's 14 years old. Fifi. Yeah, she's not. She's like, I just want some food. But yeah, she's our old girl. And everybody knows Mr. Handsome here. This is our supermodel, Mr. Gatsby. And I've had a few people comments like, you shouldn't leave your clothes in with your cats. And I don't. All of our clothes that are listed. Hey guy, how you doing? New Hampshire. I've been in New Hampshire. When we did our main trip, we went to New Hampshire. But all of our clothes are stored in our garage. They're not out here with the cats and stuff. You know, cats can tear stuff up. And I'll show you this guy. This is actually Gatsby's brother. This is Mr. Hobbs. They're from the same litter. These are good boys. And we have one more. I'm going to get into a lot of the questions in the comments. We're going to talk a little bit about churning and credit cards and taxes a little bit. Stuff that nobody likes to talk about. Oh, here's the boy. Here's the last boy. He's the next to the oldest. This is Mr. Hemi. Hey, Hemi. He's named after Hemingway because he has 6 claws. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, he doesn't want me to mess with it. But he's polydactyl. And he's about 12 years old. He's a big boy. He's a big Russian blue. He's a good boy. Okay, so that's all the pets. Some people wanted to meet all the pets. I know some of you don't care. But wanted to give you a hard time about getting me sourcing. They're cheap and they bring money. So I just had a couple of coffee mugs and sold videos that were in the 30s even. I know I'm doing free shipping, but still coffee mugs in the 30s. I'm like, oh my gosh. You know, it's a lot of people are like, you can get $10 out of a coffee mug. Be picky and you can get a lot of money out of them. I have my iPad here with my outside camera on, so maybe I can see don't miss the mailman. Okay. Just heard someone go by, but it wasn't him. So questions on YouTube. We have Denise says, you hit the mother load, great finds. I want to come and thrift with you. We do have a patron subscription level that, you know, you can come and thrift with us. Andy, the Pearhead Picker, can come and thrift with us anytime because he got us our first 100 subscribers. So Andy is grandfathered in for life with for thrifting with us, in my opinion. He sold a Dumbo coffee cup for $30. See, those Disney ones, some of them are in the 30s. Like we sold that. What was that? That Tower of Terror one with Stitch for $35. So some of the Disneys, some of the other ones. Hey, you're welcome, Andy. Like I said, you're got to stick together, don't we? There's some other local guys around me, but you know that are flipped. They have YouTube channels, but I haven't really had the same connection with them as I have had with Mr. Parrothead. But anyway, I was telling Andy, you know, I think you live in Illinois, and you know, we lived in my wife is from Missouri, and I'm from Arkansas originally. But I've lived all over the country. I've lived in Arkansas. I've lived in Mississippi briefly. I went to college in Oklahoma. I was in California back in my Marine Corps days, way back in the day, because you got a second chin now. I didn't have that when I was in the Marines. I've lived in Florida right after college. My first job out of college was in Florida. And like I said, we lived in Missouri. My wife grew up there, and we lived there for about 10 years before we moved out to Virginia. Okay, so talked about that patron level where you can go thrifting with us. And it is expensive, and I get that, you know, dollar level patrons are great. You know, I appreciate that greatly. There's a lot of other benefits with that, you know, going thrifting with us too. So just check it out. You know, I'm not an e-beggar, but you know, it's nice to be appreciated. Let me see here. Ryan asked, what do you do to get the stickers off of sealed items like the Third Rack game we thrifted in that shower mirror? It's tough. You just got to pick them off because, you know, that really thin. I'm gonna go check if that was the mailman. But anyway, that really thin. Dinner included for you, Andy? Heck yes. We'll have some prime steaks if you make it to the Washington D.C. area. But anyway, that really thin plastic, you just got to pick those things off of there, because if you put any kind of chemicals on that thin plastic, or if you try a heat gun on it, it's just going to destroy it. So you just got to pick those stickers off there. Unfortunately, at least no other better way that I've found over the past 20 plus years. Me and my wife talk about this all the time. I talked about our stores, and we all have regrets. You know, you look back on your life, you're like, man, I missed an opportunity there. And when I owned my stores for 10 years, I owned those for actually 10 and a half years. Let me get my years straight. From August of 2006 to December of 2016, I owned my stores. Owned and operated them, ran them. You know, hard to do a resume when you're just the owner. You know, a lot of people beef up the resumes. You're the CEO. Vegetable, yeah. And I've heard about olive oil too, you know, helping with that sticky residue and stuff. But, you know, with that really thin plastic on those, you know, and I'm talking about that crinkly plastic that's around a lot of things, you know, it's just tough. And I just kind of slowly grow you a fingernail and just, oh, there's our mailman. I don't know if he'll want to be on camera, but probably not, but we'll go take our package out to him. He honks his horn and I can hear it a lot of times. So let's head on out. Okay, is everyone there? I don't know if everyone bailed off. I think I got just out of Wi-Fi range and it disconnected for a second. Hello? Okay, but anyway, we was talking about, the peeling off the stickers. Just, you know, peel them off. There's a lot of different methods between Goo Gons and olive oils and peelers and stickers, but I just use the old thumbnail. Okay, so we talked about the stickers. finding another question here. Just Fran. Fran always has a nice word. She's a really nice lady. Always has a kind word on the comments. Another person didn't know that you couldn't put. Kathy didn't know you couldn't put uniforms on eBay. I didn't either till they took mine off. And like I said, the funny thing is, a lot of people, especially on Reddit is a pretty toxic environment. And I had some FedEx jackets, pretty high end stuff, National Park Service jacket, and they got all kicked off of eBay. I didn't know, had no idea, because if you go to the solds on eBay, you'll see some that have sold to this day. People have slipped through the cracks and whatever, but if you follow the rules, uniforms aren't allowed, unfortunately. It's just the way it is. Like I said, there's other outlets though. Poshmark, Etsy, or Carry. Yeah, I didn't know that either until I got booted off. That was, like I said, it's crazy. But technically, it is against eBay rules. It's silly. People debate all the time. Like I said on Reddit, it's pretty toxic, but people are like, people use them in commission of a crime and stuff. I'm like, really? I mean, maybe. But it's okay for someone to donate them. It's okay for the thrift store to sell them. It's okay for me to buy them, but it's not okay for me to sell them. That's, it's kind of bogus. Yeah, the last haul video was crazy. If you haven't watched it, go back and watch it, because like I said, the Big E Levi's were an amazing find. Because I never, rarely go thrifting on Mondays, and I just happened to go thrifting and found those Big E's. It was amazing. Yeah, another person talked about how busy the 50% days off are in their area, and it's the same way here. Northern Virginia, the Washington D.C. metro area has 9 million people in it, and these thrift stores are just slam packed. And I try to be patient. Unfortunately, I have my father's temper a little bit, but as you get older, you get just patience, because there's no point in getting upset over trivial things. But one thing that sets me off worse than anything in thrift stores is if I'm going down a row and I have my shopping cart in front of me, and they have these aisles really cram packed tight where you can barely be two across anyway, and I'll be scooted over into the clothes and let someone buy, but I let someone buy and they go right in front of me. That irks me. That really irks me. Like don't squeeze by and jump right in front of me or reach in front of me. That's when I'll say something. But anyway, going on down the questions here. People ask about my wife being on camera, showing her face, and she can't. She works a full-time job with the federal government, and she can't do it. You can use your imagination, but she just can't do it. I talked about Melissa asking about the Woolrich coats and how I got those 2 awesome Woolrich coats right after, she asked that question, which was crazy. How much, somebody asked how much it costs to ship mugs on average. On average, it's $7 to $8. It can be more depending on how far it's going, how much the mug weighs. It's funny. What's your name? NH guy, New Hampshire guy. But what's funny about the bins is I used to go to them in Kansas City all the time when we lived in Missouri, and it's crazy. There's literally, I think, some mentally ill people that hang out there. But the closest ones, you would think Washington, D.C. would have, huge Goodwill outlets everywhere. They don't. Dan, hey, good, Dan. Good to meet you, Dan. But you'd think Washington, D.C. would have some Goodwill outlets. But they don't. The closest ones are in Baltimore or Richmond. To get to Baltimore from where I live in Northern Virginia is a nightmare. You know, the traffic going, you know, the Beltway and the interstates, I'm just not gonna mess with it. And Richmond, you know, is a couple hours away, so I don't get to go to the bins. And it's funny because I just messaged RVA Flips. He's in Richmond. About if he goes to the bins in Richmond, you know, because I just kind of miss it. I'd like to do it every once in a while. You know, I get more than enough stuff here in Northern Virginia that I don't have to go, you know, that far out. So, but somebody asked about Mercari, and I haven't taken the jump on to Mercari yet. You know, I have a hard enough time keeping up with my eBay stores and Amazon and Poshmark. Matter of fact, I haven't let Poshmark, you know, I haven't beefed it up as near as much as I could have. Half off at Salvation Armies. Yeah, our Salvation Armies are weird in Northern Virginia. I've never seen them do half off. Most I've ever seen them do half off, or most I've ever seen Salvation Army do is 25% off. Ever, which is bizarre because, yeah, when I was back in Missouri, the Salvation Armies would do those 50% off sales all the time, but not in this area. So, okay, everyone's real nice. You get you subscriber guys. You know, people say that all the time, but you guys are awesome. I rarely get a downvote, and you always have a nice word. Like Debbie, love your videos. Denise all the time, and I said talked about Fran. Warren always has a nice word. Dan, New Hampshire guy. Let me see here. Somebody said they had a good giggle with my lotto ticket buys. Hey, you got to do something crazy every once in a while, right? Okay, somebody, where's it at? Yeah, Matt and Ashley wanted to talk about taxes. Taxes are complicated, which you know. You know, having my own stores for 10 years, my biggest recommendation, if you're big enough, and if you got a business period, is get an accountant, get a CPA. I've had the same CPA, the same lady that does my taxes. Even when I moved to Virginia, I have the same lady do my taxes, and she's been doing them for about 11 years now. It gets complicated, and you know how you're going to set up, whether it be, I do LLCs because it's simple, but you can be a sole proprietor, you can be a C corp, you can be a corporation, you know, regular incorporated, S corp. There's all kinds of different things. Depends on your personal financial situation, you know. And I'm not a tax professional. I have a freaking bachelor's degree in education and MBA. I don't, you know, I've taken 2 accounting classes my whole life. So, speaking of accounting, so we were talking about taxes. Back when I owned my stores, I was set up to pay my income tax quarterly because, you know, you get to tax time at the end of the year, and you know my CPA does all my taxes, and they're like, "You owe this big, huge amount of cash." You're like, "Oh my god!" So, I was set up to pay quarterly back then, but now I just pay at the end of the year because it's not as big of an amount. And, you know, my wife works full time and she pays in, so it kind of offsets, you know, because we file, you know, married filing jointly and stuff. So it's all in one big pile. That leads into what do you do to, you know, I use GoDaddy bookkeeping, or I think it's called bookkeeping, but the GoDaddy thing, and I have it set up to where it's automatic on the credit cards I use to thrift and pay shipping with. So all my expenses are automatically in that spreadsheet. I even have it I even have it set up to do my mileage. You know, which mileage is a big thing in this business because I drive a lot, and that's a big write-off. I think a lot of people miss the boat on churning their credit cards in this business. If you're in it hardcore and you spend a lot of money on, you know, your goods and your shipping, you turn your credit cards. And that's up to you which credit card you want to use. There's a lot of good ones out there, whether it's Capital One or, you know, Quicksilver, the one that pays you, you know, the cash back when you buy in, you pay your bill or whatever. But it's all on what you want to do. We use a Hilton American Express for everything that we can. And we do that because we take on our vacations what I spend on items for the business and shipping. We'd never have to pay for a hotel room. That's how many points we get from churning credit cards. We went to Japan a couple years ago in Tokyo. That hotel bill was zero, and it was a nice hotel. When we went to Maine, all that stuff we did in Boston and going up the East Coast, zero hotel bill. So yeah, I found out yesterday that PayPal doesn't add the total for shipping fees for the end of the year. Doesn't surprise me. I have it, like I said, I have it where that's another thing. I'm glad you asked that question. The key to turning your credit cards is on PayPal. If you leave a balance in there and you buy your shipping off of eBay, like I do, I'm top rated seller, and I know people use pirate ship, but I haven't seen it be any cheaper on pirate ship if you have the top rated seller discount on eBay. Maybe it is, maybe I just haven't done enough, but I ship through FedEx and Postal Service both. And what was I going? Oh yeah, the PayPal balance. If you have a PayPal balance in your PayPal account, it'll take that money out of your balance. Empty your PayPal balance before you buy shipping, and it'll charge your backup funding method. And have your backup funding method set as a credit card, like I have my American Express set up as my backup funding method. All that shipping cost we turn points on. So yeah, like I said, and those points we get on the Hilton card pays for all of our hotels, whether we're going back to visit family in Missouri and Arkansas or going on vacations. So taxes are complicated. Get a CPA. Turn your credit cards. Empty out your PayPal balance. What else? I think that's it on that, really. Maybe there'll be something else. A guy, I watched a podcast yesterday about, it was pretty funny. They have like a conspiracy theory podcast about algorithms and throttling on eBay and YouTube. And oh, thanks, Dan. And I'm not a conspiracy theory guy. I was a Marine, pretty level headed. But it's hard to wrap your head around when you do, say you average 10 sales a day, which is not out of the realm. That's, pretty good. Hey, Denise, we were just talking about you. Good things, all good things. But they were talking about, the eBay and YouTube algorithm. And it's funny, if I sell 10 items a day, and then I'll go sometimes, and I don't change any of my routine. I'm listing every day, doing this stuff, and I'll go a week. And this past week has been like this. Like I had one thing go out today. And it's the holiday season, so it doesn't make much sense. But I'll have weeks where nothing bad. It was just we were going through the YouTube comments and stuff and talking about how nice everyone has been. But yeah, I'll sell 10 a day, but then I'll hit a week like this past week where I'm only selling 3 a day. And it's just bizarre. It doesn't really make sense, especially in the holiday season, that sales will tank. So it's like, is something else going on there? I don't know. I can't prove it. I'm not a tech guy. I couldn't point out an algorithm if it was in the middle of a book. And YouTube's the same way with subscribers. I've noticed, like, I'll pretty much, get 1 or 2 subscribers a day, pretty much. But I had a week like last week where I was negative subscribers. So I don't know. Everything's cyclical. I just chalk it up to that. Everything was cyclical. So, yeah. Sorry about that. My microphone came off. Okay. Let's see if there's any more questions here. Anything you guys want to cover? I just ordered some more bubble wrap yesterday. There's a 15% off coupon on eBay today, and I think it applies for everything, but I didn't really need anything. So you guys check on your mobile app on eBay, and if you can't find it there, check your messages on your account and on the flipping subreddit on Reddit. There's a link on there about the 15% off coupon on eBay, which is another weird reason I haven't had any sales today at all. I don't get it. Had that coupon, but I'm not complaining. What can you do? Listed some good stuff this morning. Listed some real good stuff. So, Anyway, I don't know. I think I answered all the most recent comments and questions on YouTube. I want to go to, I don't know, I may flip the camera here in just a second. I want to show some stuff that I was talking about with YouTube. Yeah, I saw that one, Andy. That ring light is a really good deal. I already have several of them, but that was a great deal. If you guys need a good photography ring light, Amazon has that one for 69 bucks. It's a really good one too. I want to show you guys what I was talking about on this YouTube subscribers this past. I think this has the last like 28 days. Let me see if I can flip this. You guys see this? So, subscribers gain, subscribers lost. That's just part of it. You're going to lose stuff. But, pretty consistent. I'll see you, Andy. Thanks for stopping in, bud. But, subscribers, 6, 1, blah, 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 blah. But look at this week. Just cratered. And it's this is YouTube, but it does the same thing on eBay, where it's like, okay, everything's going fine, 6 packages, 5 packages, and then nothing. It's just insane. But, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I work, and I'm still a work in progress on my photography. And my issue is space management because I'm just doing all this out of my house. I don't have a storage unit, and managing space is becoming an issue. But yeah, I don't know really the answer because I have 3 eBay accounts, a Poshmark, and Amazon. Basically, I have probably 3,000 items stored downstairs, and it's getting tough. So, but it's living in Northern Virginia. If this was back in Missouri, obviously I wouldn't be able to get this amount of stuff in Missouri. But here you can get the stuff, but storage units are just, whew, it's crazy. And commercial space, I know what I paid for my commercial space back in Missouri, and I don't expect those rates here. But here, it's triple at least. I priced out 10 by 30 storage units close to me where I live, and they were $350 to $400 a month. And I'm like, no freaking way. That's 300 square feet. That's really not that much space for $400 a month. I don't think so. But yeah, I don't know the answer to that. That's the part of living in a high cost of living area. But anyway, I think I covered what I was going to cover. We talked about taxes. We talked about how great you guys are. We talked about churning credit cards. Yeah, I'm surprised you have any room at all, Dan. We talked about churning credit cards. We talked about PayPal, conspiracy theories, eBay, and YouTube, and yeah. If it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't do this at all. So just wanted to do this little video before Thanksgiving to thank all you guys and wish you a happy Thanksgiving. We're not able to go back home because of my wife's work. So we've had a tradition the past 3 years. We go to Mount Vernon, and Mount Vernon has a little restaurant connected to it. It's ran by the Mount Vernon Ladies Association, and they do Thanksgiving dinner all week, and we do our reservations there every year. So we're going to eat Thanksgiving dinner tonight at the Mount Vernon Inn. I'm going to punish myself with the pumpkin pie and pecan pie. I don't eat sweets normally except for the holidays, so look out. My blood sugar, my pancreas is not going to be happy. But anyway, we will see you guys. I'm still going to film a what sold video tomorrow on Thanksgiving, and it'll be up for our patrons tomorrow, and for regular public consumption on YouTube on Friday. But thanks, guys. Hope you have a happy Thanksgiving. We'll see you later.